G'day YouTube, how the heck are we doing? It is Foul Play here, and we're back for some more modern action with Floofy Paws plus Audacity here in Modern. So Audacity, similar to Trample, gives +2, +0 and Trample. When it's put into the graveyard from Battlefield, draw a card. Floofy Paws, similar but different to Core Spirit Dancer. When an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if it was cast, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to the aura that you cast, with a different name than any aura on the battlefield, and then attach it to Floofy Paws. So yeah, basically, a game plan like usual is to build a big hexproof guy, attack in. You'll notice we've got 4 copies of Rancor and 4 copies of Audacity. And yeah, in the case of our opponent interacting, blowing up our creature, a blast zone, engineered explosives, etc., we'll then have Floofy Paws to rebuild on. And the cards we can rebuild with are Rancor, which will, of course, returns to hand, trigger the Floofy ability. Sentinel's Eyes and the escape cost does trigger the Floofy Paws ability. It's not resolvable through Chalice of the Void, which is an issue, but that's okay. We can also get a Griff's Boon back from the graveyard. That's an activated ability that will not trigger Floofy Paws. And Audacity will give us a card draw, so hopefully we can go looking for that first strike aura and finish our opponent off. You'll notice a 1 of Audacity in the list has Anti-Menace and also gives Hexproof to a creature. So it's a chance to give Floofy Hexproof there. And with the sideboard, I have made 1 change from my previous list. So I've gone down to 3 Force of Vigor and up to 3 Heroic Intervention, from 2 up to 3. The reason for that is I don't have the rental capacity on Mana Traders, so I actually downgraded my subscription, and I'm just a few tickets short of having the full playset available to me. So that'll be coming in future weeks. So Deafening Silence for Cascade decks, Gadok Teague for Tron Control, Leyline for Burn and Discard, and Force for Hammertime, Heroic for Dress Down. Alright, we won the die roll here up against Niter Glaze, and this hand is pretty medium. I think I'm going to keep it. I guess we have interaction in form of Basayu. I don't think we get punished too bad here for using our fetch land and not holding up Dryad Arbor. The point where this could get awkward is we only have trample effects in hand, and if our opponent interacts with us in the wrong way, i.e. by putting a big annoying creature onto the board, we could be in a bit of trouble. So opponent plays Urborg Expedition map, so everybody's lands are now swamp in addition to their other types. I guess this is the mono black Devotion that runs about. Opponent's got the Cabal Coffers. So we do have our 1 of Basayu in hand as interaction. The Rancors keep on coming down. So we'll attack for 7 here. I probably should have stopped upkeep to destroy the Urborg, because this will add for 3. See what happens. If not, I guess it's end step. Wait a minute. I stopped the skip through. That's really frustrating. We do have lethal damage after resolving the Daybreak here, so that should be enough to get the concede from our opponent. Opponent concedes. Cool. So win for game 1. So you can see here a mono black Devotion list. This one without a sideboard, interestingly enough. I think we can expect some number of discard cards from our opponent though. In the main deck, we've got Dathari, Gatekeeper, Gifted Aetherborn, Gareth's Grief is a pretty big one. Obliterator and Grey Merchant of Asphodel. So basically they play a bunch of creatures with Devotion, They use their Nykthos. They use their, in our opponent's case. And that's where they get out that great Merchant of Asphodel and do work. Reminder as well, guys, if you do enjoy the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. So Leyline of Sanctity is a must as a card to bring in here. After that, we can probably minus on Alpha Authority, considering our opponent's removal is destruction base in the form of Fatal Push. So Hyena Umbra will help protect in that spot. I think we still want Griffspoon. Maybe it's like 2 Floofies, 1 Authority. Just all that glitters. Should be reasonable there. Guess we could always get blown out by like a Chalice of the Void. That'd be pretty frustrating. Sound is like literally perfect. Let's keep that one. You'll notice we have the turn 2 attack for 5 because Leyline of Sanctity helping buff our creature. Opponent, land, and back to us. So, goodness, there are effects that make us sacrifice a creature. I think there was Liliana's Edict or something like that. Liliana's Triumph that can do it. Opponent, 3 lands, still yet to cast a card. Alright, so we have Daybreak. Daybreak will adjust this to a 2-turn clock. We have 1 aura we can rebuild with on Floofy Paws. Should the worst happen. There could be a Damnation coming our way as well at 4 mana. Opponent just concedes and that's an easy game 1. I'd like to point out as well, everyone, this is my 3rd league with this list that I'm running here. Currently we are 7-3. I guess that makes 8-3 now. So the list is doing quite well. Okay, welcome back to match number 2. We won the die roll again up against JVR Date. And hand is pretty damn good. We're missing 1 mana source off of it being incredible. Hopefully we draw that turn 1. If not, we still have some very nice auras here. Opponent is Hammertime. Alright, that's potentially devastating. We do find the land though. Okay, well this is sort of an interesting spot. If we go Ethereal, Sentinel's Eyes, All That Glitters, that gives us 3, 6, 7, 8. That's not quite enough. I think the play here is play Foofy Paws and look for that turn 3 kill on the crackback. So if our opponent has Pure Steel Paladin as the equip effect, which it looks like they do after playing Hammer Sorcery Speed, it will mean that we will be able to untap and kill pending interaction. Alright, here comes Pure Steel. Equip cost of 0. Equipping onto one of their guys. Alright, so if that's all the antics, we don't actually need to block here. We can just go on crackback, and the extra point from Scout could be helpful. We do need to draw a land here though. Okay, they're just shifting it across in that fashion. I should have seen that. I don't know why I didn't. We find our land. Alright, so importantly enough, I've just put this on the wrong creature. Holy shit. Okay, concentrate. Audacity. Hopefully we're not too much damage short. Floofy ability. I think we're going to be just short on damage here. This is absolutely my own fault as well. Let's give that important flying stat. Yeah, so with Rancor across, we would have won. I clicked Rancor onto the wrong creature. Alright, Floofy can get in for a bunch. Put our opponent to 2. It should have been the win from our end, but obviously the misplay also from our end. So hammer, trigger draw. Yawgmoth Nexus. Can block with Scout on one of them. Block with Emperor on the other. And we should be fine. Sure. So opponent's playing for us misplaying. Sure. And we'll just block here. They don't have any way to give instant speed trample. And then we just win on crackback with trample already resolved. Sure. Alright, so we recovered from a pretty bad misplay in that spot. This is absolutely fine though. And I think at Daybreak Coronet, we've probably built a big enough guy to attack in. I guess we're still vulnerable to Path to Exile, so instead of getting Daybreak, I should be getting Alpha Authority, so that's another misplay on my end. We just get to flex though, and take game one. Our opponents don't have too much in the form of interaction for us. We have Force of Vigor in form of interaction for them. Maybe we should be keeping Floofy in because he's just really, really important. Taking out a couple of these slower auras. And then Dried Arbor is probably a little bit slow for this matchup. Maybe it's Forest. We could use Dried Arbor as a chump blocker for fetch land, so let's take out the Forest instead. So we did get the all-important game 1 win, which means we'll be on the play game 3. This is also a pretty damn good-looking 7. Definitely keeping. Opponent, mulling to 6. Opponent, turn 1, Sigarda's Aid. Ornithopter, sure. And after Ornithopter, they pass. So Windswept Heath and will pass. Opponent looks to cast Esper Sentinel here, so that will allow them to start drawing cards. I was going to get Dryad Arbor here as a free creature, but I think we shock a Temple Garden and then just pay the mana. Opponent with the Urza's Saga as well. Crack this one, shock. Force of Vigor exiling a green card. And I think we just get rid of Urza's Saga and Sigarda's Aid, pitching the Audacity. Paying the 1. Alright, opponent down to 2 cards in hand. We draw a second Floofy. So play out one of them. Next turn we get an untap with 3 mana. That's pretty good. Opponent with the second Urza's Saga. Second Sigarda's Aid. Alright. Maybe we can get our second Force. See what the top of our library yields. Another Razor Verge Thicket. Alright, so nothing too exciting then. So we'll pay the 1 there. We'll use the Floofy ability. Get the Ethereal Armor. We don't have to pay the tax a second time, which is nice. I think we're just looking to aggro through the air. Alright, let's start attacking. And opponent takes the damage. Alright, so they're down to 10. We've got our guy. They've got their Urza's Saga trigger. Silent Clearing joins the party. 1 card in hand. 1 flying blocker on the field. And they have access to, obviously, the construct token there. Alright, so pretty simple. We can just go in for an attack. Click our guy. Ornithopter can block, and then they'll go to 2. So here's the construct. That is A-OK. And opponent actually goes to 1 here. Also, apparently they're not wanting to give up their Ornithopter. Very interesting. So now our opponent's silent clearing is turned off from tapping for mana, which puts us in a very strong spot here. If our opponent gets hammer, they get a 12 power construct. They can attack with us. We don't take lethal damage. We need for them to, if they get hammer plus they naturally draw a hammer, they can cast a second hammer. They can have a 24 power construct. We can just chump block it nicely though. Okay, so they're using that mana to sack the silent clearing. Makes sense. And they do get hammer. All right. Well, I think they wanted to get Shadow Spear because Shadow Spear is a one-off copy. And then they have a higher chance of drawing the hammer. And then hammer plus Shadow Spear is their best chance to win against us. So we'll block like this. Okay, opponent concedes. Maybe it would have been correct to block the other way, because we still need to play around like an instant speed trample. The way we do it is we assume that they didn't have the Shadow Spear and the 2 cards in hand, but maybe it's better to block with Floofy Paws, and then we can give Slippery Bogle flying and attack for the win. And that works out better only if they don't have another Ornithopter as a blocker, although they have Yawgmoth as a blocker, so that wouldn't work. We could Rancor a Sentinel's Eyes attack. Yeah, I think maybe Floofy was the better block, because then we Rancor Sentinel's Eyes, maybe an Aura off the top, and attack for the win. Okay, welcome back for match number 3, guys, versus a Shelton. We lost the die roll this time. Hand looks pretty good. We're going to keep this one. Opponent leads on Sacred Foundry, passing to us. Find the Forest. Okay, Forest is decent. All right, opponent playing and cracking Wooded Foothills, finding the Steam Vents. This must be an Indomitable creativity deck. Oh, Ice? Sure. Ah, damn, they prevent a little bit of damage from us. That's a little bit annoying. Let's play the Temple Garden here. We have potential to not take damage from our own deck here. But if they do the same ice move next combat and we draw white mana, we want to be able to resolve Daybreak. Opponent passes back to us, and I don't really think anyone's running Mana Leak at the moment. I don't really want my Daybreak to get countered. Let's Floofy, see if there's a response. The fact my opponent made Mr. Land Drop means I can be a little bit slower and more resilient here. If this resolves, our opponent can counter Griffspoon, but we can get it back from the grave, and we get the voice trigger. So that's pretty nice. I think Audacity's fine here as that search effect. I almost feel like they have Lightning Bolt or another Fire with the way they did that then. Let's see what they've got. And opponent concedes. So I'd say what we're most likely up against is Indomitable Creativity, which is a big scary matchup because they resolve this Archon of Cruelty. We sacrifice a creature, it deals 3 damage to us. It's an ETB and an attack trigger. So they get that out by casting Indomitable Creativity, and usually they sacrifice a land off of the Dwarven Mine token to do what they need to. Leyline of the Void, Collective Brutality, Celestial Purge, alright, and Nature's Claim. So in this matchup, Deafening Silence isn't going to do much. If it was a Cascade deck, Deafening Silence could be useful. We've got Gadok Teague, we've got Leyline of Sanctity as cards we want to be boarding in, and as cards we want to be boarding out. Probably just a bit of our 2-mana stuff, which is a little bit slower. Something like that. I'm not sure taking out Floofy against combo is the best thing, but we are efficiency swapping it for a Gadok Teague a little bit. This hand just isn't it. Okay, this hand's a little bit better because it's got Leyline. Keep this one. We have to bottom 1 card. Let's get rid of 1 Floofy Paws. Start with our Leyline out. That stops any discard effects from getting us, ripping our hand apart. We have to remember they still have like Fire and Ice to shoot down our creatures. And we do need to start drawing lands very soon, sooner rather than later. Alright, well that's not a good start. End step, opponent cracking. So that is Naya colors. Interesting. Jetmir's Garden. Alright, opponent lets us untap. We brick. Okay, that's not good. So opponent gets a free fetch. I guess they can get another Triome land here, if they have another one. So Xander's Lounge entering. So far they have access to all the colors. Yeah, this is definitely creativity. Fabled Mirror Breaker. Tick, tick, tick. So this thing attacks and creates treasure tokens. It's pretty lame like that. I think we want to bait the removal spell with Gadok Teague here. I'm pretty sure they have it. They could just have discard, but... So if they remove the Gadok Teague and we draw land next turn, we can Floofy Paws plus Protection, which is pretty nice. Fabled Mirror Breaker, trigger. So discarding Scalding Tarn and Dwarven Mine. There it is. Attacking, trigger. Sure, we'll take that. So either they're holding up instant speed interaction here or they just don't have it. Hopefully we find land. That'll make our life a little bit easier. Not land. Alright, let's see if Hyena Umbra resolves or if our creature dies. Actually, that's wrong. I should be doing Sentinel's Eyes there, not Hyena Umbra. Because Sentinel's Eyes comes back from the grave and Hyena Umbra doesn't. And either one gets us out of range of fire. We attack for 4. We can hold up blocks too. This one, however, is flipping this turn. Getting that Kiki Jiki creature. Fortunately, Summoning Sickness on the creature. Another land from the opponent. 4 cards in hand. It's like an attack trigger as well on this token, not a deals damage trigger. That just seems so absurd to me. I guess we just get to resolve stuff. So we'll go for Daybreak this time. Alright, that one resolves. Time to attack. And a chump block with the Shaman token. Cool. Repairing a bit of that life total, a bit of that damage we've taken early game. End step, opponent cracks that Bloodstained Mire, gets the Dwarven Mine. So that's going to trigger, get them the Dwarf token. Alright, hopefully we find land here. Let's see. That is land. Lovely. Alright, let's start by attacking. Hit in. Our opponent can do this dwarf trick multiple turns in a row. And I'm going to try and resolve Floofy here. If we resolve Floofy, we can Sentinel's Eyes. Give it... Okay, we'll go for Sentinel's Eyes now. Then we'll give it Ethereal Armor. And then next turn with the Hyena Umbra, we can give Trample. Alright, so looks like opponent has Lightning Bolt for Floofy then. We don't lose anything really because Sentinel's Eyes can be escaped from the graveyard. The good news as well is that's one less Lightning Bolt our opponent can hold to deal with Gadok Teeg. So if they had like Lightning Bolt 2 fires, they'd be able to trigger Totem Armor on Gadok Teeg. Then they'd need an additional 2 Lightning Bolts to actually take him off the board. Alright, let's start by cracking this one. See if we draw some Trample. Trample, perfect. Alright, so now we'll escape that Sentinel's Eyes back onto our guy. That's going to be a nice little attack for 10. Oh, opponent has beginning of combat interaction here by the looks of things. Is this like a Nature's Claim? I don't know why they'd be tapping red for Nature's Claim. Maybe it's just a land beside you and they're looking to destroy an enchantment that way. So we have Vigilance regardless, so there's no need for them to sequence it fancy-like. Maybe we misplayed with the Hyena Umbra there. Maybe we want to be getting down that second copy of Hyena Umbra instead of the second copy of Sentinel's Eyes. Because if Hyena Umbra goes, we have 7 toughness remaining. And it's possible Teeg can die after that. Oh, opponent with the Besayu. Alright, let's get Gadok Teeg, get Dryad Arbor. Just in case they can somehow hardcast this Archon. So that would require hardcast Archon plus Dryad Arbor. Lightning Bolt for Dryad Arbor. Fabled Mirror Breaker, sure. Opponent concedes. Alright, we're taking down 2 big hitters this league. Not too shabby. Okay, welcome back for match number 4. We won the die roll up against AG67. Hand is reasonable, not great. We get like a 3/3 vigilance protection from creatures, which is okay, I suppose. It's not very fast though. Hopefully, with all the auras we have stacked in our library, we can draw something a bit quicker. Opponent, Overgrown Tomb into Ignoble Hierarch. So it could be... I'm guessing that this is just like a Jund style deck. This could mean a turn 2 Liliana of the Veil, which I'm not a giant fan of. So let's run out an extra creature off to the side. Give our main guy Vigilance, attack in. Just don't want like a turn 2 Liliana to really slow us down. Yawgmoth. Okay, so never mind. This is just the Yawgmoth combo deck, right? Young Wolf. There's the Young Wolf. Gotcha. Find Windswept Heath. I mean, that's not a huge help. Yawgmoth is 4 power. We could delay them a turn. I think we're fine just to initially attack. I think we want to hold up beside you for interaction draw step. Alright, so we've eaten up a Yawgmoth trigger. And we'll go to our opponent's draw step, fetch a basic, and then beside you their Urborg. Hopefully that's pretty good. It takes them off like the black sources they need, although I'm sure they have a basic swamp and they have Ignoble out, so I don't think we're going to have a better interaction for Urborg this game though. Maybe we go after Overgrown Tomb, assuming they have 2 like Urborgs, and do what we need to. Alright, so swamp there. Can you do anything with this black mana? Or no. Alright. Alright, so Yawgmoth comes down regardless. Sure. So they can sack a creature, which is the Ignoble, and reoccur this Undying. We're drawing Dead Steel. Yikes. That's 3 draws, 0 auras. All lands and creatures. Alright, so we'll attack in. We've got our pro creatures now. Unfortunately, we are dead to a Jareth's Messenger. So let's hope they don't have that. Eldritch Evolution on the Ignoble. That can go for X+2. That's just Jareth. Strangleroot Geist? Wait, what? Don't you want Jareth's? Sack Strangleroot. Okay. Cool. I'm fine with this. So Basayu, tap, tap, tap. Chord for 2. Blood Artist. Well, I think the opponent just wins at this point. So they just keep sacking. They'll gain a life and we'll take damage and lose. That's fine. So it does look like the deck actually does run Blood Artist in it as an effect. So post sideboard, we have to worry about Force of Vigor, Magus of the Moon, Chalice of the Void, and Thoughtseize, all as like 2-ofs. That's awkward. That's not good for us. Jareth's Messenger does target an opponent. Blood Artist is target player. Blood Artist targets as well. All right, Leyline's going to be good. So this is an interesting spot because if we keep Floofy, we can potentially turn 3 kill if we dodge a Fatal Push. If we bring in Gadok Teague, we can shut off Chord of Cooling. Maybe like 1 Teague. And just minus our slow auras like this. Maybe minus a Griff Spoon as well. Alright, we'll submit like that. No, this is not the hand. Also not the hand. This one will have to do. Ditch, ditch, done. Hope our opponent doesn't have removal. It's not great. I don't love it. Turn 1, Ignoble Hierarch. Alright, good news. No turn 1 Thoughtseize. Okay. This is pretty good. So if we draw a land this next turn, we can turn 3 kill our opponent with Floofy. That is important information. Assuming Floofy survives. Opponent double green. Strangleroot Geist. Attacking. Exalted Trigger. 1 black mana floating, potentially. Alright, no blocks. Rancor's not bad as well. Okay, opponent's hard yielded. That's really good for us. So I still think we play it safe and get Hyena Umbra. Now we can get our Ethereal Armor and attack for 10. If our opponent doesn't kill us next turn, we just have lethal. Unfortunately, we bricked on land, so we couldn't turn 3 kill. We can't turn 3 kill without an ethereal armor in hand anyway. Would have maxed 15 damage, I believe. Okay. Not upset to see that. Good guy, Floofy Paws. And access to only 1 black mana here. Okay, so Audacity. Why not? I've done this wrong, actually. We might miss a trigger here. Yeah, we got no more searchable cards. I could have got an extra Audacity down on the battlefield. I think we have lethal anyway. Opponent concedes. Cool. Game 3. So we did see the power of Floofy there. That was pretty impressive. I think maybe we can minus on Basayu. Bring back in 1 Floofy Paws. It really is that good. I'm not sure that my opponent changed their sideboard. Hand is reasonable. I think we can keep this. We don't have protection for against our opponent's combo. Gilded Goose, sure. But we do have a turn 3 Daybreak Coronet, so if we can keep our life total high before then, we might be able to avoid the combo. Classic Leyline of Sanctity as well. Where were you in my starting hand? Son of a Gun, Wall of Roots. So currently no Undying creatures from my opponent's side. It's making me pretty tempted for Floofy here. So Plains regardless. I think Floofy's the way. Okay, opponent is doing stuff. Yawgmoth, sure. So access to 2 mana here plus 2 creatures they can tap on a chord. Oh, do we get to untap a little bit here? I don't mind that. A little bit lame. Let's Sentinel's Eyes on the Bogle. Trigger Hyena Umbra on the Floofy Paws. And that way we have Daybreak Coroner on one of our creatures regardless of what they do. If this trigger resolves on Floofy, we fetch Hyena Umbra. Sure. I wonder if we still get the effect and we can still... I guess we still get the effect. But we already have Sentinel's Eyes on the board. Wonder what happens. Audacity goes to hand? What? What's this? Alright, I'm down. I don't really want to get 2 for 1 here. I think our opponent's more on the interactive side than anything. So let's hold Daybreak in hand for now. Try a stock standard attack. Looks like maybe they didn't have it. Interesting. So in that spot, I should be getting Rancor instead of Audacity. If Floofy is removed, it goes to hand. That's a crazy interaction. It's not actually stated anywhere. Not that I can read. It's broken. Our opponent will need 2 creatures to combo with Yawgmoth. So 1 creature resolving here will not kill us. Punishment. Okay. So that's fine. We get Totem Armor. We can get Sentinel's Eyes back. On our guy, we can rebuild. Hopefully we hit mana here. Opponent not going to attack? Surely you can attack their opponent. Another Daybreak. All right, another floofy. Sentinel's Eyes on the Bogle again. Get rid of a couple of our auras. Trigger the floofy. This time it will be Hyena Umbra. Give that protection. No good attacks from Bogle here, so we'll just pass. Next turn, finally on the Daybreak. Daybreak for trample, attack, good times. End step, opponent beside you on the Hyena Umbra. Trigger. All right, we'll get a Temple Garden. Guess opponent might be looking to minus out the floofy paws again. Jareth's Messenger. Okay, no Yawgmoth. Come on. Actually, if our opponent has Yawgmoth here, we're 1 damage. Yeah, we've got 1 extra damage and we should live, hopefully. Okay, cool. Sure. I'm fine with this. Still with the Jareth's Messenger. We will gain life here, though. And we will be attacking for lethal, too. Wow. Look at how grindy we can be these days. Floofy is incredible. What an upgrade. So attack for 5. Opponent has to block here with Yawgmoth. They lose Yawgmoth. We can still get blown out by another punishment, though. That'd be pretty backbreaking. Second main, play our land. We also have the option to, like, leyline protect ourselves. Opponent cast the Wall of Roots. Yawgmoth, 3 in hand still. Outland Liberator, sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Goodness. So this will get sacrificed and transformed. Whenever it attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. That could be frustrating. Alright, so Ethereal Armor. See if our opponent responds. That resolves. Okay, that's good. Because they can put a counter here or tap Nurturing Peat to activate this. I think they made a mistake. If they destroy Sentinel's Eyes, they eat up the Daybreak Coronet. We don't want this flipping, so we don't want to use all our enchantments too quickly, but we'll be able to cast Leyline of Sanctity regardless. Do we need to play around a combo here? I guess with Blood Artist, they could still combo us. Sorry, I paused at the wrong spot there. I was umming and ahhing about whether or not to resolve Daybreak or Leyline. I think we're fine either way. If they were to destroy Daybreak Coronet, we would still have a 5-power creature. Sorry, yeah, 5-power creature. So that one there, opponent's going to sack in response to mitigate the life gain, destroying the Leyline of Sanctity. So Blood Artist is still an issue. Opponent plays the Urborg. 2 in hand. Still not cracking this Peatland yet. Still going the distance on action. Eldritch Evolution on the Wall of Roots. Finding Yawgmoth. Opponent has got the combo, but they need Blood Artist here. They don't have Blood Artist. Okay, lovely. Perfect. They can block our life gain, though, which is irritating. And do this mostly indefinitely. Okay. Another Daybreak. Alright, let's see how our opponent interacts here. Attack for lethal. I'm sure it's block with Yawgmoth. Activate Yawgmoth. minus on the Jareth's Messenger. It's exactly what they're doing. Cool. So that fizzles our damage as we don't have trample. God. Imagine if I'd tap properly. If I got the Rancor earlier on instead. Does this exile? No, that just destroys. I wonder when that got exiled. Opponent cracks Nurturing Peat now. Finally. Alright, triggers. Looks like they're trying to get as much damage on me as possible before Leyline of Sanctity resolves. That will reduce their own life total though. While they do this though, they will be drawing cards, right? Or is it just a scry? Pay 1 life, sack a creature, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and draw a card. Yeah. Jareth's Messenger only targets opponents. Blood Artist also targets opponents. Target player. Oh, this is target player. So legally they have to target themselves after playing Blood Artist. Could be a questionable play. Alright, land. Birds of Paradise. 2 in hand. Only 2 life. Only 2 activations left on Yawgmoth unless they find a way to gain life. It's a bit sad. Flooding out just a touch here. So, Daybreak Coronet. Attack. This is going to be the critical turn for my opponent next turn. They have to let us gain the life here, or they won't have any activations left. You have to target yourself there, opponent. Land down, pass turn. So we did gain the life off of that attack. That is an important distinction. Opponent plays Ignoble Hierarch. Lovely. All right, come on deck. Let's see it. Let's see some trample here. Attacks with the Birds of Paradise, triggering Exalted. That's one way to slowly chip us down. That's fine. Man, totally regret removing that Grisboon right now. All right, let's attack. Keep this train going. Keep diminishing our opponent's creatures. Surely they just flood out at some point, right? And seems like as good a time... Oh, no, this is bad. I shouldn't be playing this. If opponent has a second copy of Punishment, this is wrong. Should be saving that one. Opponent, Grixis. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Makes tokens indefinitely. Cool. Alright, same story. There it is. Let's go. Alright, let's I guess extend the other Daybreak as well. Really go overkill here. Punishment is sorcery speed. That's good. Opponent triggering Yawgmoth, getting that draw effect, presumably looking for a way to interact with Rancor. We'll be attacking for 20 and opponent concedes the match. That is 4-0 going into match number 5. Crazy. Thank you, Rancor. Okay, here we are for match number 5 versus Sinclair. We on Dial. We're going to be on the play. This is a fairly aggressive hand, but it's big but. We don't have first strike here. We don't have evasion of some description. So we could run into some trouble later on. Alpha Authority means only one creature can block, but realistically we're not really casting this one onto a hexproof creature ever given the option. Den of the Bugbear. Is that mono red thing? Sentinel's Eyes. Not a bad find. Let's crack, get our planes. Sentinels. I guess this is one less damage this way, so maybe I should have considered not doing this. Still, attack in. Opponent on 16. No lightning bolt or anything yet. Second Den of the Bugbear. Is this like creativity just doing nothing? No, because this isn't mountain. It can't be creativity. Wow, super duper punished by our deck here. Trick, we should be getting Temple Garden. Alright, I'll play Audacity because I think the card draw is a little bit more valuable should things go wrong rather than getting the Rancor back. I kind of want to trade this for a land, trade this for first strike. Opponent plays Swamp. Fabled Mirror Breaker. This is awkward. Alright, come on, deck. We can do this, buddy. A Goblin Shaman token. Floofy has entered the fray, the battlefield. I don't know. Okay, so I think the play here is Suicide Bogle. We can reload on a different hexproof creature, or if we draw land, we can get Hyena Umbra for Floofy Paws. Either way, we put our opponent to 6. We find land. Let's go. So land, Floofy, Rancor. Rancor resolves. Lovely stuff. All right, we are off to the races, people. So, Hyena Umbra down. Look at how good this card is. And even Audacity playing its role as well, alongside Rancor. Okay, so Fabled Mirror Breaker trigger. Chooses not to draw discard. I guess my opponent's basically conceding the match at this point. Plays a Swamp. Lightning Bolt. Sure. Trigger Hyena Umbra. Fury. Taking out Floofy Paws. So is this Rackdos then that we're versing right now? Rackdos Midrange. No Undying effect for Fury though. Oh, cool. Opponent's gone for this one. So Phyrexian Gorger is black. Is Menace Lifelink 3/3. Guess we'll get rid of cards we don't want our opponent to remove here. Start building back up our Bogle. Opponent can Kiki Jiki copy this. Does it gain haste, right? That's one more turn away though, because of Summoning Sickness. Menace Lifelink, so we can't block our opponent's creature if we want to. So this would be a really good time to draw just like Ethereal Armor, so we can clear out the game, close it out, finish our opponent off. Opponent 5 mana. Triple Swamp. No. Activation on the Den. Opponent attacking with the Den, getting a trigger there. So this seems like a free block on the token, if I'm not confused. Comes a 3/2 goblin with whenever this attacks, create a 1/1 goblin that's tapped and attacking, it's still a land. Alright. So I don't think they can give that double strike or anything while tapped out. Untap, draw another Bogle. We can keep this Bogle game going. 6 power. This is very frustrating. That has lifelink. Yeah, we're just a little bit of damage away here. Let's keep Alpha Authority in hand just in case. I don't think we want a suicide attack there, given just the lifelink on the Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. Alright, well, I made a mistake. Opponent plays Grief. We lose Alpha Authority. It's not a big loss. The only positive to having it is if we draw Floofy Paws, we can Floofy Paws and get Daybreak Coroner on Floofy. So game's starting to slip away, but opponent chooses not to attack again, despite the Kiki activation they could go for. Okay. Oh, okay, that's what my opponent's doing. So they're going to try and close out the game that way. Interesting. And they can do this indefinitely. If we find specifically Griffspoon... Wait, does this exile? Discards a card. If we find specifically Griffspoon will be okay and can attack in the air for the win. Opponent plays the Ragavan. Not dashing Ragavan. Attacking with the Flesh Gorger. It's irritating. We could trade both creatures for it. I don't think that's the line. And yeah. I think it's pretty much do or die this turn for the Griffspoon. We find Audacity instead. I'm going to say this one's a lock at this point. I'm going to concede. Next card. Well, we can't see that apparently. It's bugged. So we're pretty much up against Rackdos Midrange here. Main deck Liliana or the Veil. Oh, wow, that's terrifying. Engineered Explosives as interaction, as well as Magus of the Moon. Lame. Okay, we can do this. All right. Another reminder, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. This has been a wild, wild league. I don't think Heroic Intervention is worth it. I think we just want to trim on a bunch of this 2-mana sort of stuff over here. Maybe it's a second Floofy. It is really good rebuild potential, though. Maybe it's an Audacity. Keep Floofy in. All right, let's trim like that. We have a lot of trample effects. All right. Pray for a good 7. Let's see. Only green mana. No. No creature. Lame. All right, it has to be a really good 5. Come on, man. Come on, deck. It's not in like this. Ditch. Actually, let's ditch. I wish we had Blood Moon protection. I feel like the card draw on Horizon Canopy could be very important, though. Both these cards come back. Sentinel's Eyes is a little more resilient to that hand disruption that we experienced last game. Let's do this. I could keep 1 mana and both Rancor plus Sentinel's Eyes. I think the cycle is going to be relevant, though, most games. Thoughtseize. Okay. Hello, Ethereal Armor. Lovely to meet you. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Alright, so attack for 2. We have First Strike. That's something we didn't have that whole previous game. If we can avoid the explosives, avoid the Blood Moon, things are looking up. Opponent with Fury Evoke. A little bit lame from our opponent's end. So Undying Malice comes back. No good targets. I mean, our opponent's whole deck is undermined by us mulliganing to 3 because they can't take any of our cards. Look at it. We're broken. Our deck is broken. Alright, I have a feeling like Floofy's dying here, but we'll throw it out anyway just in case. Attack for 2. End step crack. And in tapped. Okay, good start. They could still hit it with a Fury. We'll see what happens this turn. Crack. Blood Moon. Oh dear. That's not it. Alright, I am very regretting bottoming that Plains right now because we have no way to shuffle it. And I guess we can crack back though at the minute. If this is all our opponent has, we can erase. We can maybe naturally draw Forest plus Trample. We'll see. I'll try and waste my opponent's time by getting him to interact with my hand. Go to 3. I know. Oh, we find the Audacity. Interesting. Attack here for 2. We're 1 damage short. Terminate. Alright. GG. Opponent has us. Good game. That's unfortunate. That's really, really unfortunate. Damn. So close. So frustratingly close. Alright, well, I think we can all agree this list currently here is busted, or at least in my opinion, it's busted. That's 3 leagues I've run. I've got 2 4-1s. I've got 1 3-2, so that's like 11 and 4. It's a very good win rate. That is 73% win rate currently. I mean, we -1 force out for the heroic intervention just because we didn't have access to enough forces there. Didn't have access to the borrowing budget on my Mana Traders account. But that's okay. We still beat Hammertime, so that's good. So we're 1 for 2 against Hammertime, which is nice, and 2 for 3 against Murktide, which is nice. I think we might have picked up some games against Rackdos, but it might have been pre-Audacity. Honestly, the deck list looks really good, really strong at the moment. I hope you guys feel the same. If you're wanting to run it in your local game store online, let me know how you're doing with the list. Let me know if you've got any different changes. What do you think of Alpha Authority? I'm still not sold on Alpha Authority specifically. Could definitely be something different. Like, for example, Cartouche of Solidarity, and then maybe in those grindy matchups where Floofy's getting picked off, we still have that Warrior token to deal a little bit of extra damage as well. Yeah, so I hope you're really enjoying the content, guys. I plan to keep abusing this while the metagame allows for it. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And until next time, have a great day. I'll see you then.